Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys about what I consider to be three of the most important lower body exercises for improving general strength, power, and athleticism, as well as injury prevention. Now, I understand that some of these, particularly the good morning, is one I harp on a lot, but it's for very, very good reason. But if people were to come to me and say, hey, what are three of the most important lower body related exercises, and I'm not saying this list is exclusive. I don't want people to think that when I say this is the only thing that you should be adding to your squat and deadlift rotations, right? I'm not saying that. And I want to make that very, very, very clear, because it seems like when you bring something up that something is indispensable, people think that that's the only thing you need. You know, it would be like telling people, I think it's really, really important for you to have good tires and good oil in your car, and then you say, but shouldn't I have a steering wheel too? Well, yeah, dumbass, you should have a steering wheel also. It's almost, and I hate to be that way, but there are times when I feel like I have to be, because people just don't get it. That when you say things are really, really useful, number one, it doesn't mean you can't be successful without them. And number two, it doesn't mean that's the only thing that you need. In fact, when you start thinking it's the only thing I need, you have doomed yourself to failure. Just give up. You're going to fail. Okay? That's a lazy, weak, unintelligent mindset. That's a bad combination. All right? Intelligence can help you with laziness sometimes. And really, really hard work can help you if you're stupid. But when you're stupid and lazy, that is a very bad combination. You will never succeed. You're done. You're not going to succeed at anything in life. Just give up. If you're stupid and lazy, at least if you're dumb, you can work hard. But that is exactly the mentality of, well, this is all I need. No, but it'll sure as hell get you a long way, and that's the point with these. And these movements are good morning, the reverse hyper, and sled drags. And the reason I have those is that I feel that they are all relatively indispensable. That's why they're important, because a lot of things can be replaced with different things. You know, we could argue about your ratio of conventional versus sumo pulling. Okay. We could argue about different squat variations. We could argue about different supplemental lifts for our hamstrings, right? Because people are like, why didn't you use the glute ham raise in there? Because realistically, 99% of the benefits of the glute ham raise can be achieved by combining other lifts if you don't have access to one. Okay? That makes sense? It's a phenomenal piece of equipment, but it's replaceable. All right, it's replaceable. But it sure as heck is convenient if you have one, if you really need to hit all the functions of your hamstrings. But let's come back over to these. Now, you guys know why the good morning, and I've covered that in previous recent videos, but it needed to make the list for those reasons. And I mean, who else has said similar things? Take away from the west side, guys. We don't even need to go to west side, even though that's where I draw a lot of my data. Ben Pollock. I mean, let's talk about a guy who is an absolute beast in every way imaginable. Even you guys who chase physiques are like, wow, that guy's a power lifter and he looks like that. Okay. Elite level strength on all the big lifts, but particularly the squat and deadlift, while being peeled. Just kind of ridiculous. That's ridiculous in its own right. Hey, what has he said about it? The good morning. I have seen him write in an article that his opinion, the good morning, is the single best squat and deadlift accessory. I also find it's an indispensable mobility increasing tool. Now, a lot of people say, well, can it be replaced with Romanian deadlifts? Look, Romanian deadlifts have their place in training. All of my lifters, good morning. Only a handful use the RDL. And if they RDL, they good morning also. No, it's not the same. Absolutely not the same. And it has to do with the fact that it carries over so well to your squat, not just your deadlift. It has to do with the fact that it has so much variation in the ability to load it. We can do so many variations of it to rotate it through while keeping the movement pattern in. All right, there's a lot that goes on with it. It will make you amazing at box squats, and the box squat will make you an amazing squatter. Box squat will even make you a better athlete. Okay. All right. What else is on the list? The reverse hyper. Best investment I've ever made in my home gym. And I have a budget on. Mine was just a little over $400. I think I paid around $430 for it. The reverse hyper. Indispensable tool for therapeutic purposes and strength and hypertrophy purposes. The therapeutic aspect of it, though, the ability to put your low back in traction. Okay, this device offers a unique training effect that you cannot get with any other hip hinge. Now, as far as a lot of just the hypertrophy end go, we could argue, well, does it really bring anything to the table that the Good Morning doesn't? Not really. The ratios are a little different. Right, ratios are a little different. Still hits the quads, not the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings, hips, erectors, all of that. But it puts your spine into traction. All right, that allows us to do more total training and to recover from it better. Okay, it's something you can use every single day with lightweight. I use heavier weight 2 days a week on it. I use lightweight on it 3 days a week. Some cases more, but I generally do 3 days. So, I mean, I use this device 5 days a week off loaded programming and percentages. The low back recovery and strengthening is phenomenal. If you really want to have a lower back that feels bulletproof, people have a history of back pains, back injuries. It's been discussed a lot. You guys have seen, if you've watched stuff, you've seen Joe Rogan talk about how it helped fix his back. You got Louis Simmons on there, who's the inventor, who used it to rehab his broken back and then deadlift over 700 pounds with a broken back later. And he has the patent on it. Phenomenal device. It is indispensable because we take a movement that it helps us get stronger in hypertrophy and we add an enormous therapeutic benefit, an enormous recovery benefit, and restoration benefit that we don't see from anything else. And people will say, well, can I just hang off of stuff and use bands or chains? It's like, in theory, and that will help some, it will not replicate what the device can do. I would say as a long-term investment, if you want to be serious and fit and strong, particularly if you're 40 or older, you need to have one of these in your home, period. If you're over 40 and you lift, you need a reverse hyper in your house. It's indispensable. And I cannot state that enough. It's my opinion. But I believe it quite strongly. I know a lot of other people with benefits. I have clients who have them. I have several clients who own one. Absolutely indispensable piece of equipment. And again, a unique training effect. And you think about those two devices together. They build most of the musculature to deadlift and to squat. My God, these two lifts will skyrocket those lifts. Particularly the deadlifting, obviously. Then sled drags, which I don't have any footage of right now. I may not ever film myself sled dragging. It's really just an inconvenience for me to try to set up a camera and not have something happen to my camera. Trying to get a sled and everything outside or risking it outside. It's just not worth it to me. But you guys have seen the sled. I've shown my sled. I bought a sled. I'm not going to buy a device and not use it. But sled drags, because we can develop the quads additionally in an environment that is easy to recover from. There's no eccentric on it. And that's a big thing people forget about when we start talking about eccentric loading. Look, eccentrics have their place in hypertrophy, but you can get ultra jack with completely eccentric free training. It has advantages, and that advantage is the ability to do large amounts of workload without DOMs. Okay, DOMs will interfere. Soreness will interfere with your training. You know, people have this idea oftentimes, oh yeah, sore is a good thing. Well, no, sore can be indicative of a good thing. The soreness itself is a disadvantage. It can actually negatively affect your training and your mindset. It can affect your actual motivation when you hurt. And people say, oh, I don't care. Yeah, how many years of that are you going to put up with? You might say that for a while. If you're a long timer and you're in this for the long haul, you want to keep getting stronger and more jacked for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, yeah, you're not going to value DOMs that much. Allows you to build your quads without DOMs, and allows you to do so in a way that gets you in shape. Builds quads, hips, glutes easily, just dragging a sled. Hypertrophies them in a way that doesn't cause DOMs because of the concentric loading only, no eccentric load, while doing conditioning work that builds up your cardiovascular conditioning and makes you fitter and more athletic. Now you think about these three movements together and what all they bring to the table. They are by themselves their own training. If you didn't squat or deadlift, you would get a pretty strong, pretty in shape, pretty fit lower body off these three movements. And that's not what I'm promoting, but pointing that out. That tells you how much they bring to the table. And they all have a unique training effect. Add them to a squatting and deadlifting program and watch what happens. Okay? They will get you to advanced numbers real fast. Alright guys, well that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.